Ever since fans found out that Lucasfilm was actually going to make a 5th Indiana Jones movie, they've been worried about it, and for good reason. Lucasfilm doesn't have a very good track record over the past decade when it comes to IPs, when it comes to these franchises, when it comes to these characters that so many people care about. Typically, they go out of their way to destroy those characters and their legacy, and that's exactly what everybody was worried about when it came to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And now here we are, just a few weeks away from the release, and that's still what people are worried about, because when they put it out there at the Cannes Film Festival, the critics that were supposed to praise it, that were supposed to love it, they had all the very same criticisms that so many people out there have been worried about, that Indiana Jones is a shell of himself, that he's being outshined at every pace by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and that really this is not a movie that should have happened. And when we look at the box office projections for this movie right now as it stands, this is a movie that might not even make as much opening weekend as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did. And unfortunately for Disney and Lucasfilm, this, being one of the most expensive movies in history, is something that needs to make over what Kingdom of the Crystal Skull made just to break even. That looks like something right now that might not happen in their wildest dreams. And now you even have the mainstream media slamming Lucasfilm, saying what fans have been saying for years now, that the Lucasfilm is dead. There's no magic left there. And in fact, how they describe it is the Force has left Lucasfilm. What has gone wrong for the studio behind Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and how Disney's Bob Iger can salvage his $4 billion investment. This is on Fortune.com, all right? This is not like some random blog or something. This is Fortune.com that is saying this, being this critical of Kathleen Kennedy's leadership, this critical of what's happened to Disney Star Wars. We've been saying it here on this channel, a lot of other YouTube channels I'm sure you guys have been watching. We've been talking about this forever, how disappointing The Rise of Skywalker was, how bad some of these streaming shows have been. And even when it comes to The Mandalorian, their flagship show, Season 3 was a nightmare for them. The audience rejected it and they tuned out. The ratings were bad for Mandalorian Season 3, especially compared to what they expected. And now it looks like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is going to be the latest box office nightmare for Lucasfilm and Disney. Now, let's just take a look at some of this and see how openly the media is coming out and slamming Lucasfilm. Taking time out of his busy schedule running Disney, Bob Iger flew to the Cannes Film Festival in support of Harrison Ford's latest movie. Lucasfilm has just prepared its 5th installment of its Indiana Jones franchise, portrayed by Harrison Ford, at nearly $300 million production budget, and that might be on the low end from what we've heard. Dial of Destiny is one of the most expensive films ever, and initial reviews suggest it could bomb big at the box office when it lands on June 30th. When Iger acquired Lucasfilm for over $4 billion a decade ago, it paired the century-old animation company with the studio behind Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark, yet the match made in heaven now risks becoming an albatross around Disney's neck. The third Skywalker trilogy started off with a bang in late 2015 with The Force Awakens, only to end with a whimper 4 years later as fans deserted the franchise. The studio hasn't produced a theatrical release of any kind since, allowing the MCU, despite recent setbacks, to supplant it as Disney's cash cow. Quote, "The Force has left Lucasfilm," said Eric Schiffer, CEO of private equity firm Patriarch Organization. "That emotional connection it enjoyed with the fans has been damaged." Yes. Now, there's so many people that want to deny that. There's so many people out there that are trying to deny anything wrong with Disney Star Wars, anything wrong with Lucasfilm. Oh, everything's perfect. It's just a couple toxic fans out there. No, this is very easy to see. And now this article is breaking down a lot. We can't really go over the entire thing because, to be honest, it might take 20 minutes to read through this entire article. But they basically talk about how, all pushing all this stuff out on streaming, putting out so much dog shit Star Wars content, it really hurt the brand. It really damaged the brand. There's no excitement about Star Wars. The fans don't care about it anymore. And when it comes to Indiana Jones, that's a completely different story, but it's still from Lucasfilm. This is from Lucasfilm, which has no connection with these fans anymore, that people don't trust because of what they've done to Star Wars. And even something like Willow, people can look at that and see it's not just Star Wars, it's every single thing that Lucasfilm touches. Lucasfilm's first return to theaters in years opens to poor reviews. The pressure on Dial of Destiny performed for the Disney CEO became apparent through a telling exchange where he basically smiled in relief when someone said that they liked the film. That's probably because first impressions have been dreadful, with a franchise low 50% score on Rotten Tomatoes. We've gone over a lot of this stuff. I think one of the most interesting reviews was this. I'm not sure how many fans want to see Indiana Jones as a broken, helpless old man who cowers in the corner while his patronizing goddaughter takes the lead, but that's what we're given, and it's as bleak as it sounds. That's the BBC. This is echoing the concerns of so many people in the fan base as soon as they knew Lucasfilm was doing this, as soon as they saw Phoebe Waller-Bridge was involved, that it was going to be a nightmare, that they were going to destroy the character of Indiana Jones. With Disney needing to shell out $9 billion to buy Comcast out of Hulu, the last thing Iger needs is bad word of mouth building over the next 4 weeks to asphyxiate any hopes of blockbuster success. Right now, grim news is all Lucasfilm has to offer the CEO. An attempt to expand the lore of Willow, there's Willow, flopped hard when the series debuted. That got canceled and eventually just taken off of Disney+. And yes, fans have abandoned Star Wars. Galactic Star Cruiser was an absolute failure. We've seen these Disney Plus series dwindling in ratings because they are embarrassingly bad. And now even the mainstream media is pointing at Lucasfilm, pointing at Disney Star Wars, pointing at the Indiana Jones franchise, anything that Lucasfilm touches, and they're saying there is no hope here. They have completely mishandled all these franchises and all these characters and all these beloved IPs. We've been saying it for years, but I guess it just takes consistent time after time failure before some people in the mainstream media actually wake up to it. What do you guys think about this? I do think that this is going to be a real struggle for them at the box office for something that probably needs to hit 850, maybe even 900 million to break even. I don't know if it has any hope of doing that. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.